Pass for us to get the right to vote. It's been 91 years since we got it, okay? And we are still having this discussion in 2011. There's something wrong with this picture.
Well, part of what I think is wrong with this picture is that women don't actualize, and men too, don't actualize their right to vote. They don't actually take advantage of it. It's critical that people recognize that they have a voice and their voice can be heard, and not just in presidential elections. This is important in our local communities too. And so as an organization, Vision 2020 really wants to champion that sort of effort. In fact, one of our national goals for 2020 is to have unprecedented numbers of women turn out and vote, participate.
Well, there are some reasons that women do not get out there to vote. We're going to talk about those when we come back. We have to take a quick break, but when we do come back, the question on the table for you is, are men and women equal? Is it even possible for us to be equal? Because our roles in life are so often so different. And of course, we all know that we're from one planet and they're from another. So if you want to join in our discussion, stay with us or email me during the break. It's lynn@lynndoyle.net. Welcome back again, everyone. I'm Lynn Doyle. This is It's Your Call, where we are talking about the sexes, men and women. Yes, we are obviously very different, but the question is, are we equal? It's been 91 years since women got the right to vote. We have celebrated Women's Equality Day, and yet there's still a move underway to make gender equality in this country a reality. It is not. For those of you who may be surprised to hear that women are still only making 75 to 78 cents on every dollar that a man makes, this is not equality. So we want to give you the opportunity to tell us if you think we should be equal and what women should be doing to get onto the same kind of playing field. If you want to join in, you can email me or find me on Facebook. Let's check in with some of the responses that we've gotten so far. Bunny writes, I believe that men and women have different roles to play. There are things that women can do that men cannot. Equally smart and capable, yes. Able to run a country, yes. In that sense, they are equal, but I still want to believe in chivalry. Miriam says, we're starting to get equal in some jobs, but it's a battle I believe that we'll continue to fight. And it's a fight for the right to equality and human rights. Mike says it's much better than it was 30 years ago, but we're still not equal. Part of the problem may be the stereotyping and objectification of women that still exist in the media and in advertisement. Looks like we're still being pushed beauty over substance. Boy, Mike, I like that one. Thank you very much. If you want to tell us what you think, go ahead and email us and we will check in with you later on. Any responses to those three comments from our viewers?
The first comment, I agree with her a lot. Like, you know, yes, equal pay, but like she said, I want to still be a lady. I still want to be treated as such. So I think when I say equal, I mean as in revenue. If I'm doing a job that can get the same type of revenue that you can get as a male, then I want to be paid the same. But I do want to be treated differently. So it's kind of like equal, but I still want to be a lady.
Is that part of our problem, though, because we're sending mixed messages? I mean, what man hasn't said, you're confusing me, you're saying one thing, you're doing another. So as a gender, are we sending a mixed message saying, I want to be treated like a lady, you know, in the bedroom, but in the boardroom, I want to be as tough as nails and the same as you?
Well, that's pretty direct, though, and I like that. In the bedroom, I want to be treated as a lady. In the boardroom, I want to be treated the same. And I think that is a good overall statement.
Let's put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Seriously, because
we can sell it at the 2020 convention.
Because in the home, this is when I think we're not equal and we shouldn't be equal. I'm the one that the woman carries the baby. You know, he's a male for a reason. I want you have muscles, pick up large things. You know, I'm gonna be the one to nurture you. So I think the roles in the household, we should not be equal. But in the boardroom, I feel as though we should be equal.
I think equality is not so much about the role that we play, but about the conversation that we have. That we meet at the table together, that we talk about it, that we respect difference, and from there we make the best decision for, if it's a couple, the best decision for the unit. If it's a company, the best decision for the organization. But I think it all begins with dialogue and communication. I think surely my role might be different from Kathy's role or from your role, but
in the home, you're talking about?
No, I think in the home and in the workplace, you have to have the conversation, because you have to know that your voice is being heard. This is what I'd like to see happen. This is what, you know, and then listen to the differences of opinion, but make the decision together about how you'll move forward.
Right, and I think also we have to honor the family and men and women's desire to take care of their children and make it possible in the workplace for men and women to take care of their children in a way that is appropriate in their marriage. I think Melinda's right. It's not black or white. It's all nuance, and that's for people to decide. But we have to honor the family and the relationships. And I don't think, feminism was ever about chivalry is dead kind of thing, and people can be rude to one another. I don't think that was the argument. That was a shorthand kind of argument. But we wanted respect, in our roles, in our multifaceted roles, and I think that's really what's at the core.
Well, that's another interesting aspect of this discussion, because we do have different roles, and because women choose certain avenues in life, whether to be married or to have children or to care for other people's children, a step parent role or that kind of thing, that sometimes limits our movement up that ladder of success or power. And men sometimes say, well, these are choices you made. Yeah, you could have the same job and make the same money, but you decided to have a baby, or you decided to have a family or a husband. So can we reconcile those two differences?
These are valuable choices that women make. I think they're valuable to society, and we shouldn't punish women for making those. And so there should be on and off ramps for women and men who need to take those. It's not just women who are caretakers, men increasingly are taking care of.
But traditionally it has been men, and they haven't had to make the choice a career or a child. They have always been able to have it all. It's only most recently that we're able to kind of juggle, and even women are struggling with that.
Right. And we would need to address the stigma associated with the man who does desire to be with his family and to take on a more supportive role within the home.
Right. And you agree that there could be a stigma, even for men, if they say, I want to stay home and take care of my child. Other men, or society in general, may look at them and say, oh, well, he's not much of a guy. He's staying home, he's, Mr. Mom. They don't realize how tough that is until you stay home with a house full of kids, okay? Never, ever put somebody down for staying home with the kids. We ought to put them on a pedestal and say, thank you for doing a great job. Okay, we want to return back to our discussion, too, right before the break. I talked about voting, and it's interesting now because what we're hearing from our viewers is it's tough to take advantage of this right that we fought so hard to get 91 years ago, because a lot of times those family obligations, the work schedule, geography, whatever it is, are limiting for women. They just can't seem to find the time to do it. How do we get that message out to them, how important it is for women to vote, and that all of these obstacles can in some way be overcome?
I think they really have to feel that their vote matters first and foremost, and we at Vision 2020 want to make sure that women know that we didn't get the right to vote without a struggle, and we cannot impact the changes that we need for our families and ourselves without getting involved in the process and having an impact on the system. So if we can get that message across, if we can use technology to help make it easier for women of various income levels to get out and vote, that will certainly help.
I think it's about education and also about advocacy, and this is where local city council members, people who have a vested interest in the vote, should be taking advantage of the untapped vote, the untapped women and men who are not voting, and let them know these are your options for voting, places, timing, things of that nature. People, I find, attack and do that which is important to them. So first they have to be educated about why it's important.
Well, when you said earlier that, we need to let people know that their vote matters, so many times anymore people don't feel that it matters. I mean, and I think that's, that's got some validity to it. They think every elected official is as bad as the other one. It doesn't matter who they're voting for. How do we change that?
It's a difficult thing to change, because if you're living in an area where you feel as though